How do I share it? I'm going to share. Hey guys, hello. Sorry, I was just kind of posting the links online to let everybody know I'm here. It's kind of a gloomy day all across the market and for us as well. But I will say, let me just grab a quick sort of crack this open real quick right there. I'm going to use a glass because I don't think I can use the can. Hold on a second. Okay. What's happening? Saad, Bob, Saad, Alim. Hey, Brian. Hope we get some news tomorrow. Hey, everyone. It's good to see you guys. Thank you for coming on the chat. I'm interested in, can you guys, let's get the one thing out of the way right away. Can you guys hear me? Can I get a yes if you can hear me? Can you guys hear me? Yeah. Yes. Everybody? Anyone? Volume is good. Okay, great. So yeah, I was super busy all day today, and I was doing a bunch of stuff. Some of you may have seen I opened up a new company called Pray Trade Repeat, and I have a new website called PrayTradeRepeat.com, and I just make T-shirts and stuff like that. Anyway, that's that aside. So I was like super busy doing all that website stuff, and then I was watching the stock this morning, and it was like, when I woke up and got started, it was like, almost 38 cents. Started to move down a little bit. I marked out my let me share the screen for you. I marked out my candles. Chat would like to record this. Yeah, sure, whatever. Who cares? Deny open system settings. Do I have to do that? I'm just going to say deny. All right. Let me share this with you guys. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see that. Let me go back to the live stream. There you can. So volume is low. Yeah, volume has been low. I thought you meant me. Hi, Angela. Hey, Nails. Hey, B Square. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining. So what do you guys think today? Let's get some ideas. Obviously, like, if you look at the let's see if I can you can only share one screen at a time, but I was going to share the other screen. Oh my God, the broad market today just clobbered. And this is funny. Alexa, what happened to the stock market today? It looks like it got clobbered.
The stock market experienced significant declines today due to rising geopolitical tensions following Israel's surprise military strike on Iran. The Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped over 500 points, while the S&P 500 and Nasdaq also saw substantial declines. This volatility reflects investors' concerns about potential broader conflict in the Middle East.
Holy cow! So there you have it, right? That's Alexa's take. Let's see what ChatGPT says. Hey, what happened with the market today? It looks like Alexa, stop. What happened with the stock market today? It looks like it got clobbered. Let's see what chat says. This is just for fun. We'll talk about what we know is really happening in a second. Boom, boom. Are you going to answer the question? I'm not sure if it's going to answer the question. Let's try it again. Question. One second. And how does this affect IXHL? There it is. And I don't know if you guys can hear the answer, but I'll give it to you in a second. And we'll just get these broad strokes out of the way. You know what I mean? I just want to get the general sense of what's happening before we start talking about the 10Q and everything else. It looks like ChatGPT got brain damage. Oh, here it is. Here's the breakdown, Brian. We know all that stuff. I need the other stuff. Okay, here we go. Computer, come on, computer. You can't fail. Okay. Give it a second. Anyway, yeah. So the entire market got clobbered. You got stocks losing $12 on a share, right? Stocks losing $4. You have LAES, some like quantum stock that was at $8 the other day. It's $4.60 today. You know. So here's what ChatGPT says. Let's see if you guys can hear this. God damn. Okay, stop. Just stop. This isn't working. Okay, I apologize. Stop doing whatever you're doing. Stop. Okay. Anyway, so Nail says this is 1 to 3 cent range, doesn't matter, waiting on material news. Exactly. This guy nails. He's saying everything that I'm saying. That's the whole reason why I jumped on here. Just to put a little, just to calm a little nerves if anyone's new or whatever. Like, dude, we did amazing. We held up amazing compared to like the rest of the market, what the rest of the market did. You have to ask yourself, why did we held up so strong? And it's like somebody posted on StockTwits. I just saw on StockTwits, someone posted, I forgot the guy's name. He's always got great stuff to say, super positive guy. But he's like, like our bottom is up 2 cents. If you noticed, we didn't go below 35 cents today, right? So remember, our bottom was like 33.50. It was like, 0.3350. So thanks for all the kind words, Saad, and everyone else, Angela. And so like today, when you look at like, if you guys look right now and you go look on anything, Yahoo Finance, whatever, and you look at like a list of tickers, it's just red. And I haven't seen this kind of red since like April. Some of them just beat I can't say curses on here, but beat to hell. Like some of them lost $4 a share, $6 a share, $2 a share, 60 cents a share. We lost 2 cents, 3 cents. Yeah, that's what Nail 16 says. Yeah, you get it. He said 1 to 3 cents we lost today, right? On a broad market, brutal, smackdown. The 10Q will show the cash on hand and any financial updates. Exactly. You need a job, Nails? Come work for me. Maybe it re-rates on more cash on hand, but no real move without material updates. I agree, 100% agree. I do believe that the 10Q, though, when it does come out, is going to give us, it's going to give the market and the algos and everything else a little balance, and it's going to tighten the coils. If you're looking at the chart right now, look, it's been coiling and coiling and coiling, right? So these are our days. We're breaking trend lines, and then I'm moving this trend line up, And then our floor is getting higher, right? Our floor was at 0.3340 or 50, 33.5 cents. Now we're looking at a higher floor. We're like up into 35 cents. And on a day like today, what was the low of the day? The low of the day, I don't even think we hit 34 cents. We stayed in so we're doing amazing, actually. What probability do you give of IXHL of having over 100 million in cash? See, a lot of people don't like that I keep saying that, but if you look at here, I'm going to move my chart around over here a little bit. And I love to do this and I actually would love to make it like a shirt if this would all match. I tried to do it today. It didn't work. And this is why I love the stock. This is what I call the treasure map, guys. A lot of people don't agree with me. Not a lot. I mean, some people don't agree with me. Hey, I don't know. Nobody really knows. You know what I mean? We know what they tell us. We know the only thing that you know about a stock ever is on the Edgar SEC page, the filings. And, if you need a cheat sheet for list of filings, I have that. But all the filings, you've got shelf registrations that tell you how much dilution they can actually access. You have warrants, toxic financing. In quarter four, let me see if you guys can see. Yeah, okay. So you guys can see what I'm saying. Let me just go through this real quick and this messy thing I have in front of us, right? Just quickly. And then I'll get right back to you guys. Okay, what happened? Oh, okay. I'm on the same page as you guys now. So yeah, so this was quarter four of 2025 over here where I'm moving the mouse. Yeah. So that's April 1st to June 30th. That was the end of the fiscal year. Remember all these filings, end of the fiscal year, end of the fiscal year. This is the end of the fiscal year here, right? July 1st was here. July 1st, right here. See that? July 1st. July 24th. And we were all here with 18 cents, 20 cents. When they're raising this money, I was holding 100,000 shares at this point. Then it went up to 40 cents here. And I dumped 50,000 and I took back my cost, wrote it up here to all the way up to $1.73, didn't sell. When it started to go down a few days later, I sold at 115. I made about, I don't know, $40,000 or so, and then held it. And then I felt like such a punk. And I was like, what am I doing? I'm making videos about this stock. I love this stock. I love this company. Why did I sell? And then I jumped back in on August 26th, which is here. This big green candle here, when it's going back up to 94 cents, I jump in at like 94 cents thinking this thing's going to just go to $6, $7 with this general anxiety drug now, right? Because this was the big July candle was July 24th. That was IHL 42X. That's the obstructive sleep apnea drug, phase 2 top line results, 83% apnea, hypopnea index, efficacy, safe, non-suicidal, non-toxic, right? Amazing results. What do? You see this giant red candle, that waterfall? When you see a waterfall on a chart like this is in fact dilution. And they dumped millions of shares here. Then they go over here. It settles down a little bit. They kind of stop. They're still diluting down here. But down here, and then we get August 26th, we get the general anxiety results. It pops up. It started to move up again anyway, but then it really pops up on the GAD results. And then what do they do on that 8K again? So 8K here, dump millions of shares. 8K here, dump millions of shares. And then they said the last day was August 28th was the last day that we diluted. So they dumped here too, probably on this green candle, right? Oh no, August would be here. So my bad. So okay, so that was some kind of natural phenomenon, I guess. That day that we went up to I don't know. Anyway, so this is my theories. Yes. Do I think they raised 100 million? Well, you have to look at this. You look at the treasure map. You look at the warrants were bought back, two $12 million tranches, $24 million when they raised $48 million between 18 and 20 cents. Between April 1st and June 30th, right? So how much money so they raised $48 million between 18 cents and 20 cents. They pinned it. And I was there. I know they did it. So how much money do you think they raised between July 1st, all of this, and August 28th, right? Because it is, yeah, end of that quarter. End of quarter one is September 30th. We know that, but in the ARS, in the 10K, they said that we didn't dilute after the 28th. And of course, we're going to believe them. I don't know why we're going to believe them, but we're going to believe them. But I don't believe anybody. Let's see. Light Shadow says the 10Q could be tomorrow or extended. So that's the other thing too. I was thinking about, like, so you have a day like today where the company may have been like, okay, we're gonna let's release this 10Q after hours, because that's usually when 10Qs are released, and suddenly the market gets completely destroyed, like it's like a nuclear war market. You know what I mean? Everything's getting destroyed. If I'm making that call, I'm saying, you know what? Let's just hold it. Let's just hold on to the earnings until pre-market tomorrow morning or next week if we can get an extension. But right now we don't know, because we've never got confirmation from the company that they're going to. The only thing that we're going on is the 45-day period from the 10K. So they have a maximum of 45 days before they have to have a quarterly report 45 days after the previous quarter ends. So that would be tomorrow. Tomorrow would be the last day of that 45-day period, unless I'm wrong. I don't know. What do you guys think? Nail says no need to dilute after 828 if they diluted 150 million at 60 cents average. Right. That's what I think. The thing is, I'm not like some brilliant mathematician. I'm not like, Einstein or anything like that. So in my opinion, they are done raising the $100 million. I could be wrong and there could be a little left, but remember, this company dumps millions of shares in, like every biotech company too. And you don't be mad at Joel. He's doing his job really well. This is what he was hired to do, is get a stock trending. That's what a good CEO does. Get everybody invested in the stock, dump millions of shares, take money off the table, fund operations and finances for years, right? So this is what I think happened. Yeah, I think they raised up to $100 million in quarter one, which is, remember, this is quarter one of 2026, right? Right now we're in quarter two. We're over here in quarter two. We're breaking this downtrend line for $1.73. And today, I don't know, it said that we closed around 36 cents, which is like phenomenal on a day like today, right? So that's kind of where we are at. We're all waiting on earnings. Let me see if I'm just going to jump around real quick. The first thing I want to do is look over to the Edgar SEC filing page and see if we have anything there. Edgar landing page, nothing new over here. So this one is sec.gov/Edgar, and then you search for your stock, right? And the last filing we have is October 30th. The last 10K, if we click on our 10Ks, September 29th, is the 10K annual report for year ending June 30th. So 45 days from June 30th would be, or from September 29th. 45 days from September 29th would be tomorrow. Okay, so that's what I'm going on. Yeah. Oh, and also you have here, I just saw this. Let me share this screen if I can. Look at this. I just saw that. I don't know if you saw the look on my face when I saw it, but how do I stop sharing? I want to share something else. Share, close. No. Share live stream. No, I don't want to do that. I want to share screen. Oh, okay. Stop sharing. Okay, start sharing. Here it is. Watch this. Check this out, guys. You watching? Everybody watching? Look at this. Look at this. Watch this. What does it say right here? Let me see if you got it. You see this? November 14th, 2024, 10Q quarterly report for quarter ending September 30th, 2024. That's what we're waiting for. So, and that was 45 days from September 29th, the 10K, the end of the 10K. That's why we're waiting for a 10Q report. So no one said anything else. The company has not tweeted or filed an extension or said anything about how they're going to do anything else. Okay, let's just quickly go over. I don't know if there's anybody still here. Yeah, you go. There's 31 people. Oh my God. Hey, everybody. Hello. A lot of people aren't writing. They're just listening probably, which is cool. You guys can hear me, right? Obviously, there's 31 people here. That's amazing. Thank you so much for listening. And please, I was super busy today. If you guys noticed something I didn't, please put it in the chat here. But I'll just talk about this. So if anyone's new, or even if you're not new, let's talk about the assets. Everyone knows we have IHL42X. IHL42X, that's our obstructive sleep apnea drug. It is super effective. Phase 2 top line results came out July 24th. Stock went all the way up. Then came back, lots of dilution. CEO took all the money off the table, raised $100 million, most likely, maybe even more, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. Enough money for the next 2 years of trials, hopefully. And you think, okay, they have the first ever sleep apnea pill, a pill for sleep apnea made out of dronabinol and acetaminophen or something like that, right? I think that's that drug. Sometimes I get the combination therapies mixed up. And then they have the general anxiety drug, right? So those are our assets. We have the obstructive sleep apnea. Thanks, Angela. We have an obstructive sleep apnea drug. It's an oral pill. All right. I mean, we don't have to spend time on this, but you know, and you have that tube and the thing, and you know what I mean? And like, I don't have one. I have sleep apnea, but I'm not going to have that machine. Oh my God, it's humiliating, right? So what do they call that? They call non-compliance. So when the FDA sees that there's something that has non-compliance, it means that people are dying. The life expectancy of a huge percentage of people in the world, people are dying because they're not complying. They're not using these CPAP machines. So what do we have? We have a company. We're invested in Inconnex Healthcare Inc., a company that's set to, they want to provide a solution for this. And they have, you know, and it's kind of wacky, you know, it's like, you know, given the dilution, of course, right? But outside of that dilution, now that we have a clean cap table, and you got to remember that that dilution started when you see my other chart, right? I'm going to go back to my other chart. When you see my other chart, remember, this is when dilution started and why it started. So back in April, it started, and so if anybody has like a dilution, you know, so this is why dilution started. Back here in April, we had these warrants, right? 2 tranches, and they cost $12 million each to buy back. So it cost us $24 million to buy back those warrants. Had we not bought back these warrants, this is some strange phenomenon, coincidence. Had we not brought back those warrants would have been exercised, and there would have been 347 million new shares. The stock was already at that point down to like 18 or 20 cents. And those warrants would have been, and this is, so we're talking about 23 cents a share. The company makes an announcement and says, we're going to buy back the warrants so that 347 million new shares are not exercised and diluting the stock, right? Because at the time it had 29 million shares. So they said, and the way we're going to do that is we're going to raise money through the at the market, and they raised $48 million. They used the $24 million to buy off the possibility of 347 million shares. Coincidentally, there happens to be 347 million shares outstanding today, but there would be twice that. It would be like, you know, whatever, what is that? 700 million shares, right? That's what it would be. It'd be double what we have today. So they bought that, and that's when all of the, you know, savvy biotech and penny stock investors jumped in, because they're like, okay, if this company's going to raise all that money, right, and then buy, and this is all about after the phase 2 preliminary results for the obstructive sleep apnea drug. This is when like the buzz started around the drug. They're like, everyone figured out like, oh my God, this company has a pill for sleep apnea. And then a lot of people were day trading it. It was very exciting to day trade it. And then they bought back the warrants. Once they bought back the warrants, all the day traders were like, oh, hold on a second, I'm going long. They didn't even go long. All the day traders were like, wait a minute, I'm going to swing trade this, right? They stopped taking the 10, 15 cent swings because it was very volatile back then. And I was making thousands of dollars day trading it. And I decided to swing trade it. And I swing trade it. And of course, July 24th, we all because they're telling us we're going to get these phase 2 top line results. And we did. We got them on July 24th and exploded, went up to 173. They dumped millions of shares. So when I say dilution, the company and Joel himself, when everyone gets mad at Joel and they say, oh, he's diluted the stock and he's a terrible CEO. No, he's actually done, and I'm guilty of this myself, because at one point I like lost my shit, and I can't curse on YouTube. And I got really upset, and I was even not threatening. I was like I was just insulting the guy, publicly. And then I realized, 24 hours later, I took like a few days off of trading. And I realized a few days later, wait a minute, this guy did everything like a surgeon with like precision. He bought back the warrants and eliminated the possibility of 347 million new shares, right? Then, of course, when you buy back those warrants and when you raise that kind of cash, yeah, you're not 29 million shares anymore. Now, I did the math, by the way. So we added 153 million. So, okay, let me stop. So it went from 29 million to, what was it, 94 million or 104 million. And then we added another 153 million in quarter one, right? And like Nails just said earlier, at an average price of about 60 cents a share, 153 million, cut 153 million in half, that's 75 million. And that's the $73 million that they were talking about in the 10K at September 29th. So when people try to start the narrative that this stock is diluted and the CEO is a scumbag, a bad person, etc., you got to stop that narrative. Step in and stick up for Joel, man, because what he did is he's acting like I said, like a surgeon. He's doing everything surgically, and what they have done is we now have what's called a clean cap table. We don't owe anybody any money. We have cash for like a year or two, right? And we're going to find out in this quarter one, we're going to find out in this new 10Q that's coming out tomorrow, hopefully in the morning, that we have a lot of cash. We're also going to find out. Are you guys still there? Yeah. We're also going to find out that, and don't quote me on this, that we have like 0.60, like 60 cents per share loss, right? That's what it says on Yahoo right now. That's not accurate, because remember, there's 347 million shares now. I don't know if that's all adjusted itself, but it's not going to be an earnings beat, right, guys? It's not going to be an earnings beat. It's going to be an earnings miss, I'm pretty sure. And it's with a ton of cash, right? So what's going to happen, I think, is all this coiling is going to, it's all accumulated already, and we're going to make our move, and we're going to re-rate. And is it going to be some monster move? Most likely not. But guess what? The FDA IND, investigational new drug, rheumatoid arthritis, phase 2 results, or not phase 2 results. I'm sorry, I gotta go back again. What's most likely going to happen is we're going to get this 10Q. Right after we get the 10Q, we're going to get another 8K, and that 8K is going to tell us that the FDA has approved the rheumatoid arthritis drug for phase 2 commencement in the United States. And that, my friends, is a $682 billion, 40-somewhat billion dollar addressable market now that you're adding to a company. So right now we have like an $8 or $10 billion addressable market with the successful phase 2/3 with obstructive sleep apnea, IHL 42X. Now you get a good 10Q. They tell us, oh, you lost a little bit per share, but you got $115 million in cash. And then a day or two later, you get another 8K that tells you, oh, and by the way, your company now has an extra $40 billion in addressable markets, and the stock goes into dollars ranges. I think that's what we're going to see. The rest of the stuff, like Santa and a lot of people are saying, oh, you got to kick back. It's going to be phase 3 is a very long time. There's not going to be any material. A lot of stuff's not going to happen. No, a lot of stuff's not going to happen. No, sure. As long as, why would the guy dilute anymore? He's not going to dilute anymore. There's not going to be, and the other thing too is, remember, if the $100 million at the market is complete, that's another very bullish headline. Quote, another 8K you could have is, quote, $100 million at the market complete, no further dilution without shareholder approval, which means they need to file or vote to get another at the market capacity, which means that everything now, they're not going to dump millions of shares in, and the stock is finally going to rate. And I think they're not going to take the chance that it's not going to do that. The company is smart. They know that the stock that has accumulated, it's coiled up. It's going to do what it's supposed to do. It's going to have a 10Q. It's going to report that they haven't earned any money. How are they going to earn money? You know what I mean? Of course they're not earning money. This is a clinical stage biotech company, people. We're not, this isn't McDonald's, right? So earnings per share are not going to be very impressive. Cash on hand, mind-blowing cash on hand. It's coming. That's going to start to move the stock up into the 40s and 50s. We're going to get an IND FDA approval for phase 2 commencement for the rheumatoid arthritis drug in the United States, addressing a massive market of a 46, whatever, 40 billions, right? So now we have a combined addressable of the two drugs of about $50 billion in addressable markets, right? And then what else do we have? We have a synthetic psilocybin update coming for the general anxiety drug PSX-0-001, right? So that's going to come. And so there are so many catalysts that are coming. Then there's also any type of partnership, merger, joint venture, anything at all that they update us with. So so there's so much to talk about. There's so many possibilities. And, I just want to say hey, today the entire market got completely clobbered and we did pretty good. So anyway, I'm going to take some questions and then shut it down. We'll do it's already over 31 minutes and people are starting to leave. Let's see. CCHADOKA. This stock is going to do absolutely. Patience is needed. You know what my friend said? My friend was he bought Open and when it was at $6 and he bought 3,000 shares. And I was like, I don't know about Open, man. I think it's a meme stock thing. And then it went up to $8 or $9, right? This is a month ago or so. And here's my poker buddy. And I was like, it went up to $8 or $9. And I was like, wow, dude made he made 10 grand off of that if you bought 3,000 shares or whatever. And then so then it went back down. And then it went back down to $6, $7 again. I was like, oof. And I talked to him. I was like, yeah. What are you going to do? And he's like, I'm going to hold. I'm just going to hold. I was thinking, okay, all right. In that scenario, I don't know if I'm not in Open, right? But if as long as you're in a decent stock and you're in a good setup that's so solid, I don't think that this stock is good. I think this stock is absolutely so underrated. It's out of control how underrated the move is for this stock. As long as the company itself doesn't destroy us with any dilution. And why would you at this point? You have so much cash, right? You have drug makers knocking down your door to partner with you. You have, and I'll address this. I see a lot of talk about, well, how come they're not saying anything? Well, Joe won't say nothing. He said he's going to give us material updates on clinical updates and activities. And of course he can't say it because the more people that you talk to, the more offers that you take that come in front of you, the more NDAs that you sign. Okay. Non-disclosure agreements, the more offers that you see, the more non-disclosures you're assigning, the more you cannot say. So Duncan says, new to this and exciting times at a total guess. What can we see price-wise in the next 6 to 12 months? I put some money into this. 6 to 12 months. 6 to 12 months, dollars, bro. Dollars, 6 to 12 months. Oh my God, 12 months it'll be a buyout will have already occurred. Buyouts in biotech, if you don't know, buyouts in biotech for successful biotech drugs where companies if you didn't see the other day with Pfizer bought out that company at $82 a share. Buyouts happen phase 2/3. So when you come out with phase 2 top line results and they're super successful, you get an FD. You get that confirmation of an FDA fast track, because remember, obstructive sleep apnea, it's an unmet need in terms of, and it's non-compliant. People are non-compliant. They're not using their CPAP machines, right? So when you have that, it's phase 2/3. That's when these buyouts happen in these biotech companies. So right now we're already in phase 2/3. The conversations are happening. So in 6 to 12 months, Rich, and if you're new, Duncan, and you just started buying, oh, you're so lucky. I mean, I am too, though. I mean, everything I have is on house money. I happen to cash out and then use all the money that I made and buy back in at the top during the general anxiety phase 2 results on August 28th, because 26th, because I thought, oh, this is it. It's going to $4 or $5, $6, you know. And what did he do? Of course, he did the same thing he did the last time on July 24th. He dumped millions of shares, right? That's why we want the at-the-market to be complete. We want them to have raised that $100 million, because then they won't be able to do that again to us. And I don't think they have a need to at this point. Like I said, it's not fun when you buy in on a surge and all the excitement, and you're like, oh, this company is mind-blowing. Wow, this could not be a better investment. And then you follow it, and then, you know, a company dumps millions of shares on you. You have no choice but to hold if it's a good company. Obviously, you would sell if it's not a good company. I didn't sell. Listen, I'm down $22,000 on paper, $22,000. This is the longest hold I've ever held, because I'm positive I'm getting my money back and then some. I'm probably going to at least triple or quadruple my money before I start taking profit. So that, hopefully that answers your question. Nail says, could double or triple any 2 to 3 day period? Absolutely. But when it rallies hard, they will probably dilute to be nimble. They may a little bit. Long term, the potential is like 30K. Yeah, exactly. Right. So, you know, I've always said this in all my videos since day one, especially with penny stock biotechs. Remember, if you don't know, look, penny stock biotechs or penny stock anything, the whole point is for them to dilute and raise money. They're gonna get it moving, trending, market it, get everyone excited about it. When everybody jumps in, they're gonna dump millions of shares. It's your job to find the bottom, sell at the top while they're doing that, right? As they develop their company. When you figure out, or if you figure out that this company is so that's called day trading. Now, if you're day trading a company and you see something like, oh, warrants are being bought back, and you start to sniff around a bit more and you see, okay, then now there's no toxic financing, because you day trade stocks with toxic financing. You day trade beyond, BYND, that's a day trade. You day trade open. You day trade meme stocks, because they have the ability to dump millions of shares and just take all your money. You know, it's like a rug pull, right? So this was a day trade, but then they bought back their warrants. Once they bought back their warrants, they signaled to everyone that we have a real drug, and everybody held, it coiled, exploded. So now we have a real company. We have all these addressable markets. If you can read up as much as you want about the company. They have an amazing board. This is a real legitimate business. And yes, the company's going to move, and this is a great long-term hold, and or short-term profit maker. You know, it depends. But for the people who are buying in now, you're so lucky. Just keep buying. Keep buying every day. DCA every day. We'll be utilizing stop losses once it goes. LOL. Sure. I don't think you have to worry about it, Duncan. And that's the other thing too. I'll say this and shut up before I go. I see a lot of people talking about like, oh, I got bought in, it was at 58 cents. And then, man, I just can't wait for it to go up, because once it goes up, I don't know why I'm talking in a Southern accent. Once it goes up again, I'm taking my money, and once I get even, I'm taking my money and getting out. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Because you made a mistake? Because you bought in right before somebody diluted? It's a great company. Don't think like that. Don't get your money back and leave. Take a little profit. Stay. You're going to miss the entire move. You know what I mean? There's so many people like, I bought at 58. I got 50,000 shares at 77 cents. You think I'm going to sell at 77 cents? You think I'm going to make a stop loss at 80 cents? Hell no, man. I'm here for dollars. I'm here for dollars. I want $100,000 But you know what I mean? And that's only then will I give up 25% of my shares to take profit. You know what I mean? This is a monster company that's definitely going to be bought out within the next 6 to 12 months. Shit, I waited this long. Dr. Jekyll, what price are we hoping for in the long term? Well, analysts have $34, and it all depends on how. Now that we have a clean look, we have a clean cap table. We remove the warrants. We have 3 global assets that address like $58 billion in addressable markets. We have FDA conversations. The FDA is on our side. They like our drugs. We have a decent CEO. He's not the most vocal, greatest, charismatic guy. You know what I mean? I should be the CEO. I could sell ice cubes to Eskimos, right? But it's a great company, and the guy has operated like a surgeon, right? In terms, people like, you have no idea. People who get mad at Joel, and if you look at the history of the stock, like comparatively to other penny stocks, that like the guy could have just murdered you. And he didn't. You know what I mean? When they raised $48 million between April and July 1st, in July, they pinned the stock between 18 and 20 cents. And because they didn't want to just destroy. Look, the company you're in good hands with the company. The company has your best interest as shareholders. It may not seem like it because, we're at 35 cents a share, but the cap table is clean. The accumulation is coiled and ready to move. And all we need is our filings. The market is waiting for us to get our protocols in, our filings, our IND-RA approval, phase 2. Then we add $48 billion in addressable markets. And then we'll work on our synthetic psilocybin combination therapy that, you know what I mean? So that's where we're at. Anything else? What is the price of stock? If 10Q was good? Yeah, we'll go 40s and 50s probably. I'm thinking if the 10Q, and when you say if the 10Q is good, remember, we're not a profitable company. We're not McDonald's. We're not selling burgers. We're a clinical stage biotech company, which means that we don't sell any drugs yet. We're clinical stage biotech companies spend money. That's what we're doing. We're spending money. Now, does the value in phase 2 to phase 3, does it go up? Yeah, tremendously. The value of the company, but it's all what is it called? Speculative, right? Until it's not speculative. It's speculative right now. But IHL 42X, obstructive sleep apnea drug, is not speculative, right? They probably have, like I said, all these drug companies knocking down their door, giving them offers, NDAs in front of them. They're not allowed to talk right now because they have so many different offers and NDAs and attorneys, or this attorney and that attorney. Hey, you have to sign that NDA agreement. You know what I mean? Can't talk about this, can't talk about that. If you say this, then it's over. There's a penalty there, this and that. The FDA, IND, rheumatoid arthritis drug. If you say anything like that, then you're disqualified from the FDA's investigational new drug protocol. So when you wonder why isn't the company saying that, this is why they're not saying anything. So guys, hang in there. So what's the stock price worth if we get a partnership, a buyout? A shit ton. Can't curse on YouTube. Oh my God, a lot right now. It's at $34. Analysts have it at like $34, right? But look, the whole purpose of what everything's Joel's done to this point is to clean the cap table, let it accumulate, tighten all the way up, and then let it move with the phase 2, 3 value. And what it's going to do, it's like a symphony orchestra. Buy back the warrants, $20 million. You know what I mean? Then this drug phase 2, raise all this money for 2 or 3 more years. And now we're accumulated for the last 3 months and everything's tight and we filled all the gaps. We all know the floor, right? It's like a symphony orchestra, man. And then it's just like, ba, 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 boom. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. A 10Q, IND, investigational new drug, rheumatoid arthritis, you know what I mean? Phase 3, FDA fast tracking. All these other catalysts are coming. They're coming, So it's a great company. There's so far there's not a single thing. Believe me, I look for it that makes you think. Can anyone name a single thing that someone has said that makes you say, "Oh, I better get out of this company"? Not a single thing, right? You want to talk about competition? Okay, well, IHL 42X obstructive sleep apnea drug. Does Apnimed is in phase 3. Apnimed 109, AD 109. It's called AD 109, AP 109 if you want to look it up. Look it up yourselves. You should know what you're invested in. It is in phase 3, but it's not the same combination therapy. It's not the same drugs. And their drug, I don't want to get, what is it called, defame anybody, but it's a toxic drug. It's somewhat suicidal in terms of what do you call it? Those, all drugs are, except ours. But like all psych meds are. You have chances of suicidal tendencies or whatever. It's toxic. It's a stimulant. Ours is CBD and acetazolamide. It's not a toxic drug. And it's more effective. Ours is 83% effective. Theirs is less than 50% effective. So nobody cares about Apnimed, right? But anyway, so with the synthetic psilocybin, that's exactly what it is. It's psilocybin. You can't patent psilocybin. So they made a synthetic pill, which is just basically mushrooms or psilocybin, right? So and they're getting an approval for therapy combined with psilocybin because they tried it with MDMA, that didn't work. They tried it with ketamine, that was pretty effective, but Matthew Perry died, and now they're going to try it with psilocybin. Psilocybin is probably going to be the home run. I've never heard anyone dying of a mushroom trip. And then you have the rheumatoid arthritis. They've been trying to. I remember I used to try to do these clinical trials to make money, and rheumatoid arthritis and the knee arthritis is the #1 clinical trial. They've been doing it for 30 years, and they still have not found a cure for it. And here we are. We're going to move in with cannabinoids, THC, and these are we're a disruptor company that's in exactly where it's supposed to be in this day and age. Thursday, November 13th, 2025, with the government about to reassess classification for these drugs for the use of therapeutical use of and healthcare use, right? So if you think about where you're at, you got to kind of that's why I call my thing pray, trade, repeat, because every morning I pray and I meditate. And when I meditate and I think about where I am with the stock, what I think is I'm in the perfect place. Everything is perfect. It's exactly where it's supposed to be, and, I'll say this and shut up. When you see, okay, well, why is that 35 cents? Because, you got to keep in mind, we are retail. We're supposed to be dumb money. We're not supposed to be smart enough to be invested in a company and take up all these shares, right? Because they want to shake us out. And who's going to get shaken out? The people who said, I bought in at 77 cents and 57 cents. When it goes up, I'm taking my money back. I'm getting out of this stupid stock. That's called a shakeout. You're going to get shaken out. The other people, it's going to $3 to $4. I'm getting out $3 to $4. You're also going to get shaken out of a 40, 50, 60, $80 stock, So I think, I don't know how to pronounce this. Shadoka, I think a merger is in the works somewhere. Latham has been hinting on this a lot. He used words like right. See, I love this comment. Collaboration and exploring options with other people interested in science. And think about Joel. If you know Joel, Joel likes to leave Easter eggs in filings and interviews. If you listen close enough, he tells the shareholders stuff he has a habit of doing it. He lets what did he say about promising? He used the word promising before phase 2 top line results for obstructive sleep apnea. And he said, results are promising. And he said that in an interview. And all the shareholders knew that phase 2 top line results were going to be explosive. And sure enough, they were because he does that. So when you say, he says, you got to read what he says, because he will tell you the way he talks. He leaves these clues. He does that for a reason. Fingers crossed for an 8K next week, giving us absolutely. I think we're gonna get 10Q. We're gonna get an 8K, and we're gonna move. Hope it's not a strategy, but if any of the drugs, it could hit 3 to 10 long term. Absolutely. Rian Sun. So what is the stock price worth if we get a partnership of buyout? A lot of money, a lot of money. It depends, but what you want to do, and thanks, let me answer that question now. I keep skirting that question. What we want to do right now, our goal as the shareholders, as company, is to accumulate, which we've done everything perfectly. That's why I say it's like a symphony. We've done everything perfectly. We've raised money. We bought back and removed the toxic financing. We cleaned the cap table, and we've been accumulating for months and months and months with a boat ton of cash. So we've got cash. We've got all these gaps have been filled and bought. Our floor is getting higher every day. It went from 33.5 cents. Now we're on like the worst day ever of the entire year besides April. And the stock has only gone down to 0.3571 when the floor a few weeks ago was 0.3340 or 50, right? So we're already over 2 cents. Our floor is already moved up. It tells you the move is coming. The accumulation is done. The gaps are filled. Everything is set up. It's like a perfect symphony orchestra. The next things that are going to happen is a 10Q. And then, yeah, I mean, you know, hope. Yeah, we want to hope it merges. But why else would the guy shut up? Maybe because he can't dilute the stock anymore. Remember, every 8K that he files, he raises money and takes cash off the table because that's his job. That's the job of a surgeon, of a biotech surgeon, basically a CEO of a biotech. Your job is to take money off the table and raise enough money so that the company can get through its clinical trials. And he's done that perfectly. So you have to ask yourself, okay, well, how come he's not talking? How come he's not making fluff announcements? Because the $100 million at the market is complete. That's why. Otherwise, he would be making fluff announcements just to pump the stock and dump some more shares. So anyway, that and behavioral stuff too. I think they're at this point when you're in phase 2/3, you're not going to act like a complete, can I say jackass, and do stupid things to your shareholders because everything is on the line. It's all optics now. Okay. That's it, guys. That's an hour out of me. It's 52 minutes. Thank you all for jumping in today. It's been a pleasure talking with everyone. Also, my email, put it in the chat. It's praytraderepeat@gmail.com. Give me a call or send me a message anytime you want. If you guys have anything you want to talk about, charts, this, that, the other thing. It's been great. Thank you so much for coming on, hanging out with me today. Talk to you soon. Oh yeah, check out my new website, praytraderepeat.com. I got t-shirts and stuff like that. I put funny IXL shirts and good stuff. Go to praytraderepeat.com. If you see something you like, buy a shirt. Thanks. Neil says not 100%. They could file for an extension, but that is unlikely. 95% chance of a 10Q Friday. Yeah, that's what I think. All right, guys, have a good night. Remember, do me a favor, go check out praytraderepeat.com and see if you like anything on the site. It's how I'm trying to I'm basically trying to pay for the website with the $30, every 3 months that YouTube pays me to make these videos. It's nothing, but I'm just trying to keep this moving, keep the narrative accurate, and continue to be the junkyard dog for IXHL. And I hope that you guys do too. And have a great night. Thanks, everybody. I have no idea how to end the stream. Oh, bye, guys.